Yeah, this is Dean.
Philip Seymour Hoffman is synonymous with Paul Thomas Anderson. He shows up in each of his first 4 films, not necessarily at the center of them. What's interesting about Hoffman is that he moves his way kind of from the edges of the movie more towards the middle, to the extent that the ensemble films can even be said to have a middle.
Okay, I'm gonna light a cigarette now, old-timer. See, the thing is, I like you, and I'm gonna light a cigarette, and I'm gonna let you have this time to place your bet before I finish lighting this cigarette, and then when I finish lighting, I'm just gonna roll. Fuck you.
There's this absolutely remarkable little performance in Hard 8, which is Paul Thomas Anderson's first film, by an unknown young actor named Philip Seymour Hoffman, who plays this craps player at a casino staring down this much older, more experienced gambler played by Philip Baker Hall. And the character is so obnoxious. He's so obnoxious, he's unbearable. Like, you're relieved when, not just relieved when he loses, but you're relieved when he disappears, but you're also sad to see him go because he's just electrifying. And I think that for the people who saw Hard 8 in real time, it was one of those little performances within a movie that's just a revelation, like, who is this guy? And Philip Baker Hall gave interviews at the time, too, saying the same thing, which is just that this was an actor who showed up and had so much craft and so much skill that he hijacks this movie that has Philip Baker Hall, John C. Reilly, and also big stars, like at the time, like Gwyneth Paltrow and Samuel L. Jackson. Like, you leave the movie kind of remembering this performer.
This is for you, big time. All right, I'm not even looking. Here we go.
Hey, 6 on hard 6.
Hard 6? That's a hard 6, old-timer. That's not bad for me. That's not bad for me, is it, sister?
Hey. Hi. Dirk Diggler.
Scotty.
Yeah.
In Boogie Nights, he plays Scotty, who's this kind of lovelorn camera operator who's very much on the edges of the porn film scene in the San Fernando Valley in the 70s. His job puts him on the edges. He's not in front of the camera. He's not the director. He's barely behind the camera. He's often holding a boom mic. Mark Bridges was instructed to dress Hoffman like he was a 14-year-old boy. So you see Hoffman with his stomach hanging out a little bit, looking really out of style and certainly out of shape compared to Mark Wahlberg. And the character doesn't have much of an arc. He has sort of one spectacular scene, the way he does in Hard 8, where Scotty confesses this sort of unrequited crush on the character of Eddie Adams, also known as Dirk Diggler, the porn star played by Wahlberg.
You want to go for a ride, or?
Wait, fuck, hell, how much time is that?
I'm sorry, Dirk.
What the hell is the matter with you?
I'm sorry,
Why did you do that, Scotty?
You look at me sometimes.
What?
I want to know if you like me.
Well, of course. Yeah, I like you, Scotty.
Can I kiss you?
Scotty, I don't...
Please, can I kiss you on the mouth?
No!
Please let me.
Scotty!
I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to grab you like that or scare you or anything.
It's all right, man.
Do you want to kiss me or?
Scotty.
No?
There's something that I think about a scene like this, watching it today, that I think people might take issue with, defining this gay character entirely in these kind of melancholy, closeted terms. The fact that he doesn't really seem to have an arc beyond this crush he has on Wahlberg, which is played for laughs most of the time, brutally rejected, and then just kind of disappears from the movie. So I don't know if the writing really honors Scotty, but Hoffman is incredible in the sequence. He's incredible at seeming a little buzzed and a little drunk. He's incredible at seeming hesitant. He sells the idea that Scotty's just trying to show Dirk his car. He sells the fumbling advance, and he is so heartbreaking when he's trying to just regain his kind of casual composure, act like it's not a big deal. And then the scene ends very famously with him sort of alone in the car, just berating himself and calling himself an idiot.
I'm a fucking idiot. I'm a fucking idiot.
And it hurts. It's a scene that, regardless of the dramatic particulars or regardless of the cultural implications of it, I think a lot of people watching the movie can feel they've been there in some form or another, and there's just no sense of craft.
Fucking idiot.
That idea of empathy then just gets magnified in the work he does in Magnolia, where he plays a caregiver to a TV producer played by Jason Robards, who's terminally ill with cancer, and he's a kind of almost live-in figure. He's at the edges of this big dysfunctional family tragedy, which he simultaneously is trying to keep out of while also fixing. Because as the movie goes on, his plot line is trying to reunite Robarts with his estranged son, his actual son, played by Tom Cruise. And if it's possible to be magnetic and self-effacing at the same time, that's what Hoffman's doing. He's playing a guy who's just trying to help. And he keeps referring to himself this way. Even when he's on the phone trying to track people down, he's like, I'm the guy who needs help. And he also gives the movie a self-reflexive dimension because he refers to himself a few times as a character in a movie. You know, this is the scene in the movie where someone reaches out. This is the scene in the movie where you help me. And it's such a mechanical role on some level that if it wasn't such a good actor, and if it wasn't an actor who through a combination of his hair and his nurse's wardrobe and his absolute openness, if he couldn't sell the idea of the total goodness of Phil Parma, I think the character would be weak. And Magnolia is a movie where I think the characters are sometimes only as strong or as weak as the actors playing them. There's a lot of good actors in the movie. There's a lot of uneven writing in the movie. But Hoffman is just, he's never wrong for even a second. And he gets probably, in a way, the funniest and most severe moment of the movie at the same time, because when the inexplicable Rain of Frogs comes at the end, which some people see as the logical culmination of this biblical parable about punishment and atonement, and other people think is just Anderson couldn't end the movie, so he threw in a Rain of Frogs. He's the one who kind of sees it, and he asks, like, why are frogs raining from the sky? And it's a funny line, and Hoffman gets the humor in it, but he pushes it somewhere else. He's so confused that for a moment the audience sort of becomes awestruck just by his line reading.
Oh, the frogs falling from the sky.
Shut up! Shut the fuck up! You have no right to take me. Shut up! Will you shut up? Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Now!
Punch Drunk Love is such an odd movie. Its narrative is so weirdly asymmetrical, and the psychology of the Adam Sandler character is so bizarre. And then you finally fill in this character as his nemesis. And there's a way in which Punch Drunk Love feels a bit like a superhero movie, that Sandler's character is always dressed in blue, and Emily Watson's always dressed in red, and it's like they're destined to kind of come together. She appears out of nowhere. He seems to have superhuman strength, and when he finally confronts Dean, he sort of confronts him as the Mattress Man, which is a pretty good supervillain name. And Dean's having his hair worked on, and he's got this cloak on, which is very supervillainy, sort of, in his lair. And Hoffman just makes him a venal asshole who Sandler's Barry Egan needs to stand up to. What's funny is ultimately in the end how little power Dean has. They're sort of reverse mirror images of each other because they're both lonely, they're both entrepreneurs, they're both kind of beta male characters. Barry might be like the only person in the world that someone like Dean can successfully bully.
I'm a nice man. I mind my own business. So you tell me that's that before I beat the hell from you. I have so much strength in me, you have no idea. I have a love in my life. It makes me stronger than anything you can imagine.
In The Master, he's finally moved to the exact center of the movie. He's not a one-scene character. He's not an afterthought. He's not self-effacing. He's not like a bad guy even. He's the title character. And you could argue that the movie is more about Freddie Quell, played by Joaquin Phoenix, and that the film is from Freddie's point of view. But Hoffman dominates the movie. And he dominates the movie because he's playing a cult leader, he's playing a figure of incredible charisma, someone who has amassed a group of followers, people who kind of hang on his every word. And within the movie's power dynamic, he's on top for most of it. In order to play the character, what Hoffman does is something very unusual for him, which is he abandons naturalism entirely. And he plugs into a theatricality that's modeled not so much on L. Ron Hubbard, who's the character's historical model, but on Orson Welles. He's playing a plummy, absurd version of Welles. It's Welles with his Mercury radio voice. It's Welles at his most magnetic in Citizen Kane. It's this protean acting all the time performance, which makes sense for Lancaster Dodd, that he's on all the time because he doesn't want anyone to see. I mean, he barely wants people to think that he's human. He wants people to think that he's a vessel for the divine, a vessel for some great knowledge. And he's also trying to convince himself. Like, this is a guy who is very much buying his own bullshit at all times.
If you already know the answers to your questions, then why ask? Pig fuck!
He had a scumminess that he was happy to sort of try and play with. And I think Anderson, knowing him so well, working with him so closely on so many films, knew how to activate that scumminess, again, just in the right proportion.
Her eyes are blue, her cheeks are red, Mark well what I do say. Her eyes are blue, her cheeks are red, the wealth of her is on her head.